Okay, the building we're in was built in 1924, and it was originally our high school. And when it was built, it was just Greensburg High. And we can't keep on walking and talking. It was remodeled in '78. At one time, when it was built in '24, they moved in 1927. And they had a swimming pool in it. And when they remodeled it in '78, they took the pool out because it was too expensive to maintain it. This is the foyer we were talking about. These were not originally part of the building, it was the murals. They were added in about 1934 by a local Pittsburgh artist by the name of
Christian Walter.
Christian Walter. So one of his paintings. And he's really well known in the area for his industrial paintings. And it was done as part of the Works project. Are you familiar with during the Depression?
I told them a little bit.
Okay. President Roosevelt, in order to get people to work during the Depression, we had about 25% poverty level countrywide. So he would commission people to go and improve, he would try to bring everybody to work, including the artists. So they would get commissioned to go into public buildings and do public art. And there were some laws, some rules that went with it. It had to be wholesome and portray industrial, a high quality of life and working and stuff. So what we think actually we have here we have a coal mine, we've got a farm area. I think that I think that there's a blast furnace over here, isn't that one? And then, so they were all things from the surrounding area. So you have this beautiful pastoral scene that talks about, what's it say? Sow ye in the springtime of life, that there may be a harvest abundant. So when this was set, the high school, at one point they had trophy cases. Like when you do a competition and you get trophies, they had the trophy cases in this area below the murals. And a couple of years ago, we were doing a tour, and the area that we live is called Academy Hill, where we live. Like I live at work. The area where we are is Academy Hill. And they do a home tour, because Academy Hill is one of our historic areas. Was historical for us, which is like 200 years, or 100 years. They do a home tour, and I was stationed here as people came through to see the murals. And there were a lot of people who had gone to high school here, and they had no memory of those murals being there, because when they came in, they never looked above where the trophies were. And when we did the remodeling in '78, they were filthy. Well, you lived in a still town, you know what the air was like before the environment. So things were gray and brown and black, and actually the museum restored these for us. Yesterday you met Mr. D'Angelo, Jerome, the art teacher that came over.
He had Edvard Munch.
Yeah. His German time, as he said. He was teaching in this building at that time, and they were going to just destroy them. And he raised this. He said, "You can't do that. This is like history. This is something that we should cherish and come down and show our kids and make them understand what was going on and how public art was, how important it is." So his passion, was answered, and he rescued him. Yeah. So they said at that time everything was very dark and very dingy. They were really surprised at what the pastels were and how light the colors were by the time that they were cleaned. So I want to be, very few kids actually come through this way. They enter, their buses stop there, and the parking lot on the other side, and buses on Maple Avenue. So very rarely do kids actually use these doors. And there aren't a lot of classes down in this area, so we have art teachers that actually bring their kids down, talk about it, have them sketch them. So Mrs. McCune, who you haven't had a chance to meet, does that with all of her art class. Well, I should say probably with her 6th graders. She brings them down. And so that's sort of cool. The building itself, I don't know what else to say about it. It is very well maintained. We're very proud of how well it has stayed. We've kept the gold, 18-karat gold paint with it. It just painted the lobs. They just did this yellow inset stuff when they painted that. A big thing that we're trying to fix now are our front doors here. They're huge brass doors that are about as environmentally safe as possible, but we can't, we fixed them a couple times. They get locked with chains because the locks don't work, but we haven't quite figured out how to keep the architecture of the building sound and still make it so that there's not this cold air. So they're talking about possibly putting doors here, leaving these doors as they are, and making this a real vestibule where they have glass doors here that are a little bit more environmentally structured.
They couldn't put a weather strip in there
No.
on the doors? No.
No.
Mm. This one would be probably coming out of a coal mine, right?
Yes, that's what we figured.
Mm-hmm. With the donkey, yep.
And then Greensburg was also
small donkeys.
Yeah, a big railroad area because we had all the local mines then would send their coal here and it would get loaded on here and then would leave on the roads or on the rails from here.